Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Our first one of 2023. Ben, you have a good new year?
Very good. How was yours?
Not bad, just grinding through the winter break. So let's jump straight into it. You're starting the year off with a pay-per-view fight. You made the decision over a month ago. Are you happy you made the right decision making this a pay-per-view show?
There's no choice. It was make the fight or don't make the fight. We made the fight and it's huge and it's bigger than we expected. It's sold out. Any tickets that you now see sold are resold tickets going back on the site. So I've seen actually a few things about that on the prices. They're not our prices. I think what's left is platinum tickets or resales. But yeah, it was either make the fight or don't. And we made the fight. We put the strongest undercard we possibly can. The personalities have come alive. The boxing community has come alive. The boxing world's come alive because no one knows who's going to win. And I'm really looking forward to Saturday night.
We're expecting a sold-out crowd this Saturday night then?
It's sold out now. We literally, any tickets, as I say, that you can get is platinum or resales or things that are just being put back on site.
Atmosphere-wise, are you expecting a better atmosphere than Cornbrook, or is that unbeatable?
Listen, Cornbrook for me was just, I've never been to a boxing event like it, so I can't say that. What I will say is half of Liverpool is coming across 30 miles, so it's going to be an intimidating atmosphere for Eubank, and yeah, very special atmosphere. I think from 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it's a packed card, so I think a lot of boxing fans are coming. We've put in every extra row we possibly can in that arena. It's going to be electric.
Liam Smith is a fighter that you're promoting. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr. is with Wasserman. But looking at public opinion and public divide, Chris appears to have got some sort of cult following now on the back end of the whole Conor Benn situation. Does that worry you? Because I think the crowd Saturday night might be pro-Eubank.
Look, Eubank's more popular than he's ever been, and I think that's a good thing. I think he's a big name. He's outside of the heavyweight division. He's one of the only pay-per-view stars this country has got. I really believe that, but this is a big test for him. Liam Smith is his toughest test since George Groves. I think this will be the biggest name on his record at the best time. James DeGale obviously won, but that was James's last fight, and he was finished. This is a tough fight for Chris Eubank Jr. I think that's why there's so much interest in it, and yeah, he's more popular than ever. But there's going to be half of Liverpool in there as well on Saturday night. Maybe it'll be more split than he's used to, but I think Eubank enjoys being the villain, and he's played up to it the build-up, and I'm sure he'll continue to.
How does your guy Liam Smith win this fight? What do you think he needs to do to win this fight?
I think a lot comes down to what Eubank Jr. is left. Can he fight like he did when he was 28 years old, 29 years old? I'm not sure. Maybe he can. I think if this turns into a boxing contest, Liam Smith is very confident. When I first met Liam Smith, he said, "Ben, I'll sign with you if you can get me the Eubank fight." That should show every level of confidence that Liam has. He thinks he's made for him. He thinks he's a better boxer than him. He thinks he's the biggest name he could get, that he feels confident beating, and he gets to do it near home as well. And I think it depends what Eubank Jr. there is. I think as a 33-year-old, it's very hard to fight how he used to as a 25, 26-year-old, which was just relentless for round after round and very durable, and he fought people. I think, yeah, that's a big question mark, and I think Liam Smith's in the form of his life. It's a 33-year-old against a 34-year-old. I think I can't call it.
The fact that they shook hands at the end of the gloves are off, does that suggest, despite the back and forward, there is some mutual respect there?
Look, I do know they had to stop that gloves are off because certain things started to be said, and then they pulled it, and then they got back. There's obviously respect there because of what they both achieved, and they both had 34, 35 fights, and they're still in the game, and they're still at relatively the top level. I'm sure there's respect, but I think ultimately they're very different people, and that's what you're seeing in the promotion. I think neither of them could stand to lose to each other. I know Beefy does not want a loss on his record to Chris Eubank Jr. That would hurt him. I think, yeah, there's a genuine difference in personality. I think the biggest thing is they're different, aren't they? Very different people, and we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
With regards to the pay-per-view, have you got like a number in mind where you're thinking this will be a success, and what would be classed as a failure for? Because ultimately it's a numbers game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to do very well. Look, I don't want to do pay-per-views when we don't have to. I've said that before, and maybe that's a bigger market issue. Ultimately, these guys are getting paid that amount of money now. We did Eubank Williams off pay-per-view, and that was one of the biggest fight nights. I think it broke Sky viewing figure records that night, and one of the biggest, most expensive nights we've ever put on. But Eubank Smith's another level. That's why we've got a sold out Manchester Arena. That's why it's sold over in 130 countries. That's why no one can pick a winner. This is a different level fight, and yeah, it's hard to talk numbers because you just have no idea. But we know that there was no way we could make this fight, and we want to put on the big fights in this country at the right time, and yeah, it's a big one.
Do you think it does similar or close to Cornbrook? Obviously beating that number, it's not going to be easy, but do you think it does close to that?
I think it does. I think it does very well. Cornbrook for me was a rivalry built over 10, 15 years, one of the biggest fights that we've seen in the past 10 years in terms of spectacles, in terms of rivalry. This is one that's gathered momentum. When we first announced it, there was umming and ahhing. I think people now know what a good fight is. I think they've seen the undercard and now know what a big night of entertainment it is, with Riatpour in his toughest fight, with Eko Usman against Chris Congo, with Jose Parker on the card. It's a big card in Manchester, and the rivalry you've seen now over the last 7-8 weeks develop as well. For me, it's a special night. It's a night that we want to be involved in. It's a night that's just going to grow and grow. And as I say, I'd rather make these fights than not make these fights. And we don't want to charge people when we don't have to. But when we have nights as big as this, at the moment, that's all that the market can do.
And with regards to a lot of boxing fans were surprised on Saturday night when they saw mid-show on Misfits this event being advertised on DAZN, which obviously it's been publicised last couple of weeks, but I think most fans recognise that DAZN are going to be broadcasting this globally. So how much of a big deal is that for you as a promoter, and how does it change up British boxing?
No, it just shows that when big fights get made, everyone wants to get involved, and I think it's just it's not the UK. So it's different territories. We sell all over the world, whether it's ESPN, different broadcasters. DAZN's just another broadcaster. Delighted, obviously, to have them on board. But there's nothing much to it. They want the rights in the US, Germany, Canada. There's a lot of interest. They want to be part of a massive night, and they are, and we're delighted. And the more people can work together, the more we'll see big fights made. I'm done, mate.
Was there any other US broadcasters interested other than DAZN?
Yeah, ESPN is usually who we have sold to in the past, but I think DAZN really wanted this fight, and especially after the Eubank Ben thing, and yeah, delighted to be working with them.
And a quick one, Eddie Hearn said recently that there's going to be some sort of proceedings against Lawrence Okoli, because he still believes that he's still on a contract. Are you aware of anything like that? Anything that could stop you staging his fight in March?
No, nothing that will stop us stopping fighting and stopping going forward. That will blow over, I'm sure, and I just can't wait for him to get back in the ring, because I think he's how many British world champions do we have now? 2? Male? 2?
I can't think.
Lee Wood and Lawrence. So I'm looking forward to him getting back, and yeah, I can't wait.
Ben, I'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you.
Good. Cheers, mate.